Hello, my name is Tanner Isley, and this is my contemporary business leader presentation um, for the 1 o'clock class of Management 420. Right. I chose Tammy Bowen as my leader. She is the COO or Chief Operating Officer at the Steuben County YMCA in Angola, India. She exemplifies servant leadership in her family as well as her work, as I now know. Um, she previously worked at the Red Cross for many years and also higher education, uh, educational spots. These are all nonprofit industries focused on community, uh, and 5 years as a COO, and then she also has 20 plus years of experience throughout these other positions, especially the Red Cross. All right. Tammy described her greatest career achievement not as a single event, but more of as an ongoing ability to remove barriers in her job so families in crisis can be supported, especially at the YMCA. She consistently steps in when people are struggling by waiving balances and extending memberships. One example that she gave was a family in which the mother had just lost her job, the father was fighting for a disability, and the two sons were in their teens, and they could not even afford to take a hot shower. Now, what she did is she waived their balance. And she also extended their membership till past the holidays, uh, and restored their facility access. Now, her approach on this really reflected the behavioral viewpoint, especially in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, focusing on people's basic needs uh, so they can reach stability and growth. Was really important for YMCA's mission, showing empathy, ethical judgment, and commitment to strengthen the community. Um, She also scored a 41.5 out of 50, which is very high, and community building and stewardship were one of her higher uses. One of her biggest challenges was accepting that she can't help everyone, and it was highlighted by this 19-year-old kid in a homeless shelter who she saw one day. Um, and she wanted so bad to support him. Um, as she had once helped a former student athlete. She housed him for 2 years, but unfortunately, she didn't know enough about this kid and didn't have the background information like she did with the student athlete that she could not offer him the ability like to live in her home. And now this really showed her care for her family and like to the safety of her own home, uh, but also even though it hurt for her not to be able to do this, like she prioritized um, listening, empathy, and um, the ability for her to offer him a job at this YMCA really reflected her true leadership, and aligns really well with the Y's mission. This also influenced her staff through compassion and not authority. Her servant leadership score was 42 out of 50, and really demonstrated her people-focused decision making. Um, in this cha- in this challenge, we're going to talk about the power bases. Now, she used reverent power and expert power, and these are what builds personal power, is what we could say. Uh, and she had no formal authority over this 19-year-old kid in the homeless shelter. So her influence really came from her character, compassion, and the trust that she has built over the years at the YMCA. Um, this really is an example of her reverent power. Um, she also used her experience and the youth and crisis support to really offer him a YMCA job, like and also connecting him with resources that would not be possible. And this really showed her expert power. Um, this personal power really builds a committed employee staff um, instead of a compliant employee. And so I just wanted to note that. even though he declined, she handled it respectfully, kept boundaries intact, and protected his dignity uh, while modeling responsible servant leadership to her employees. Um, Tammy earned an entrepreneurial mindset score of 24, placing her in the moderate range. Her strongest straight traits were drive, openness to new ideas, and a strong work ethic. And these also directly support the YMCA's mission. Uh, and you can see the mission right here, which is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy spirit, mind, body for all. Um, this mindset was clear in her work on the. She explained to me in our interview about oh gosh, a county-wide second grade swim program that ended up becoming. It started at the Y, and became so big that a so big and successful that it was presented to the Indiana lawmakers for potential statewide adoption. This thinking really matters because the YMCA needs leaders who can make smart decisions uh, in a complex environment. Tammy's adaptability keeps the organization aligned with changing community needs and supports for the CEO's new strategic plans. Now, she also did like explain that there was a CEO involved, wasn't doing the best, and this new CEO stepped in, and it really helped a ton. And he had a whole lot of he had a whole different set on direction, and really wanted to focus on servant leadership rather than just getting the business bigger. Um, so yeah, moving on. Uh, Application to leadership theory. Now, Tammy's leadership really fits the servant leadership because she consistently puts people first and ensures that everyone at the YMCA is treated with dignity. Her empathy, listening, and care directly supports uh, the Y's mission of strengthening community well-being. She also shows transformational leadership through the big picture initiatives. She helped drive the county-wide second grade film program that blew up into a model presented um, at the Indiana State House. Uh, Together, her servant mindset and transformational actions really made her an effective leader who supports her staff and moves the YMCA's mission forward. Uh, Tammy uses relationship oriented style because her work at the YMCA centers on serving people in crisis. She leads by putting families first. For example, like said before, she waived those fees and extended the membership for the hardship. Um, I know I keep saying this, and this is all that was talked about in the interview, but like she told me she had so many more examples of this. So I just like to say that real quick. Uh, this also builds loyalty, improves member satisfaction, and fits the WISE mission again, where the success is measured in human impact. My comparison was Kevin Washington. Uh, he also worked at the Y, but he was the CEO of the overall YMCA of the USA. And now he showed more of a task-oriented style, focusing on large-scale efficiency and consistency across thousands of the Y branches. And one of the better examples was um, For a Better Us. It was a campaign that pushed nationwide standards and required discipline um, and coordinated execution. While both styles work and fit the roles of each one of these leaders. Tammy's really strengthens the frontline relationships, while Kevin's really drives the system wide performance. Emotional challenge, emotional intelligence is essential in leadership. Empathy matters because leaders who understand their team's challenges must build trust, um, and that is something that Tammy really did demonstrated throughout her interview. Uh, accountability is just as important because um, when leaders really own their decisions and follow through, they really set the standard for their team. And lastly, I think that avoiding micromanagement is very crucial because this kills motivation and really blocks creativity. And creativity is very important, especially in the YMCA. Strong teams need room to think and act independently. So, showing empathy, practicing accountability, and avoiding micromanagement are three traits that drive long term sustainable success. And now, lastly, just a little reflection. I chose Tammy Bowen because she shows true servant leadership and consistently puts community needs first. She also demonstrates an entrepreneurial mindset through adaptability, innovation, uh, willingness to support organizational change, and just a positive mindset. To get clear answers on academic concepts, I really I uh, yeah, I defined these terms so the conversation went quick and easy and natural. Although if you do listen to the like if you do listen to the interview, like there was uh yeah, it went great. You know, I don't do a lot of interviews, but yeah, it was great. So I I goofed up a little bit at the end, but yeah. So overall, the interview really showed me like how like leadership really blends everything together, and how important it is to balance out the way you lead to your company's mission. Uh, so that's it. Thank you.